We are moving to the Part 1 History, Chapter 6 India, the Land of Synthesis. Here we have an expert from the autobiography written in Persian language by Jahanara, the daughter of the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. So, listen. I went to the Juma Masjid and later visited the unpretentious residences of the minister Abdul Fasal and Abdul Faisi. As I entered the modest house of Faisi, I felt as if the saint poet was singing a Sri Krishna Kirtan sitting in front of the emperor. I stepped into the Juma Masjid through the royal entrance. The rock surfaces were glowing like gold, reflecting the red hue means color, of the setting sun. Salim Chishti's pure white Samadhi Mandir was shining like a white jewel at that time. No sign of any Din Ilahi followers on the verandas of the mosque today. I am the lone pilgrim there today. I climbed up the stairs and reached the door. There was a silver horseshoe on the door opening to the tomb of the Emperor Akbar. It was the sound of the horse hooves that reminded me of something. I could see in my imagination thousands of mounted Rajputs rushing to my father's side to help him. So, this is an expert from the autobiography of Jahanara, the daughter of Shah Jahan. Okay, so this description throws light on the cultural synthesis of India during the medieval period. The information on medieval Indian culture could be obtained from different sources such as the autobiographies of the rulers, biographies, travelogues, chronicles. Chronicles means a written record, and historical works. It was an age of fusion of different cultures. New styles developed in literature, music, painting, and sculpture during this period. So, you have an understanding of different religious beliefs and practices in India. Different religions came to India at different periods. This led to the formation of new ideas in the medieval period. As a result of the mutual influence of these ideas, the Bhakti and the Sufi movements emerged. And the first one, it is the Sufi movement. You have acquainted with Sufism in the previous classes. The Sufis were those who showed reluctance to luxurious life and gave predominance to spiritual life. So the Sufis showed their they lived their luxurious life and give prominence or importance to spiritual life. They came to India in the 11th century from Central Asia. The Sufis settled in different parts of India. They got many followers. They considered devotion as a means to reach close to the God. They believed that one who really loves the God will be close to God as well as the people around him. They preached to respect all human beings. Underline that sentence. The Sufis preached to respect all human beings. The Sufi saint was known as Pir or Sheikh and his follower Murid. Underline these sentences. Okay. You have familiarized with Kankans, the residences of the Sufis in the previous classes. These were the centers of socio-cultural life of that period. Khaja Moinuddin Chishti of Ajmer, now it's in Rajasthan, was one of the famous Sufi saints. He opined that reciting devotional songs is a way to get close to God. The devotional songs reciting in the Sufi centers are the Khalis. Sheikh Nizamuddin Auliya was a Sufi saint who was respected by the rulers and the people alike. His center of activity was at Delhi. The Sufis helped to maintain relations among different religions during the Sultanate and also the Mughal periods. And children, observe the given table in your textbook. And from this, you will get a picture of the important Sufi saints of the period and the places related to them. So, dears, mark this box as an important one. Maybe it will come for your exams. And the next is Bhakti movement. So, here are some lines from a poem. Listen. Who roamed the forest, wandered through the towns, performed strict tapas, as in books laid down, who fast and starve, sit gazing at the blue. One thing along will do, your rescue come. Faith in him, Lord of wisdom, true. So the above lines are taken from the poem of Appar, the famous Saivate saint. Saivate saint means who believed in the Lord Shiva of the Bhakti movement. So we have discussed the Bhakti movement in our previous classes, isn't it? And Bhakti movement aims at self-dedication to the God. Underline that sentence. Bhakti aims at self-dedication to the God. The ideas and activities that emerge in the medieval period on the basis of devotion to God is generally known as Bhakti cult. Underline that too. The Bhakti movement became popular first in South India. The features of early Bhakti traditions are given below. Look at that. Its propagators were the saints who were Bhakti poets, challenged the conservative Brahminic traditions, provided representation to the lower caste and also women, rendered contribution in the field of culture and also music. The Alvas and the Nayanas. The Bhakti movement emerged at first in Tamil Nadu. This movement was led by the Alvas and the Nayanas. The Alvas were the Vaishnavate who believed in Lord Vishnu, and the Nayanas, that is Shaivates. Shaivates means the who believed in the Lord Shiva. They composed and propagated devotional songs. Both the Alvas and the Nayanas opposed caste inequalities. Among them, there were women saints also. The woman saint Antal was one of the famous Vaishnavate saint, and also another woman saint Karakkal Ammayar was a Shaivite. The Veera Saiva movement. Here also we have some lines from the Vajana Sahitya. Okay, listen. The rich will make temples for Shiva. What shall I, a poor man, do? My legs are pillars, the body, the shrine, the head, a cupola of gold. Listen, O Lord of the meetings, rivers, the immovable shall fall, but the moving ever shall stay. So these lines given above are from the Vajana Sahityam by Basavanna, who lived in Karnataka. The Veerasaiva movement was a popular one that emerged in Karnataka in the 12th century. As the Veerasaivas wore Shivalinga in the neck, they are known as the Lingaites. The leader of this movement was Basavanna. The Veerasaiva movement was one of the early movements which stood against gender and caste discrimination. They were Shaivates. The ideas of Veerasaiva movement are given in the following diagram. Okay, the Veerasaiva movement's ideas were given here in this diagram. Upheld the dignity of labor, opposed caste system, gave priority to gender equality, promoted widow remarriage, interdinings and adult marriage, questioned the doctrine of rebirth, propagated the ideas of liberty and social justice. Okay. And the Anubhava Mandapam was a democratic platform that came into being in connection with the Lingaites in the 12th century. In the conference held at Anubhava Mandapam, under the leadership of Basavanna, people irrespective of caste, religion, gender, etc. were given entry and were allowed to participate in the discussion. This paved the way for the protest against social inequalities and also led to question caste domination. Basavanna was the first to speak about the dignity of labor. Basavanna introduced every individual to accept a job and do it sincerely. He said that we can understand God through the duties we perform. Okay, underline that sentences. All these sentences are important. All the paragraph is much important. So listen and reread it. Okay. He also reminded that every job of this world has its own greatness. So what is it? The dignity of labor he propagated. Okay. Vajana Sahityam, the literary form of Kannada language, became famous in connection with the Veerasaiva movement. Basavanna, Alam Prabhu, Akka Mahadevi, etc. made tremendous contribution to Vajana Sahitya. Through the Vajanas, Basavanna challenged the primacy of the Vedas and also encouraged social reforms. The Vajana Sahityam helped in the progress of Kannada language. And the next is the Bhakti movement in North India. The Bhakti movement, which had its beginning in Tamil Nadu, later spread to North India. So, in the given map, the leader's name is here and you can identify their states. Okay. Here is a table and you can identify the states and write down there itself. Okay. The next is Kabir. Kabir's Doha is given here. God is called by many names: Allah, Ram, Karim, Keshav, Hari, Hasrat. Gold may be shaped into rings and bangles. Isn't it gold all the same? Distinctions are only in the words we invent. So it's a part of Doha. Doha means couplets of Kabir, who was an important figure in Bhakti movement. He reminds that the Hindu and the Muslim are two wares made out of the same soil, and he tried to promote brotherhood between Hinduism and Islam. The aim of Kabir was to propagate a religion of love, uniting people of all castes and religions. He strongly opposed all discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, class, family, and wealth. He focused on the unity of humanity and vehemently opposed caste system and untouchability. He rejected idol worship, pilgrimages, and bathes in holy rivers. He was not in favor of forsaking family life for accepting sainthood. The ideas of Kabir developed through discussions and deliberations on the basis of Bhakti Sufi traditions. And the next leader is Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak was another preceptor who focused on the idea of monotheism. He tried to combine the ideas of Hinduism and Islam. He was a spokesman of the ideals of religious tolerance and universal brotherhood. He opposed the rituals of both Hinduism and Islam. He said that one has to maintain purity in character and behavior to reach God. He vehemently opposed idol worship and also pilgrimages. He promoted a middle path which permitted spiritual life along with the responsibility of a householder. The prayer songs known as Shaba were the contribution of Nanak. He strongly opined that all human beings are equal and hence there is no need of caste distinction among them. He instructed his followers to have food from the common kitchen. He also instructed that the people from all castes could take food from the luncher. The ideas of Nanak later led to the emergence of Sikhism. And the next is women representation in Bhakti movement. Many women were attracted to the Bhakti movement. Poetess Mirabai of Rajasthan was famous among them. She was a devotee of Krishna. She composed a number of bhajans. All these were prayer songs addressing Lord Krishna. The songs of Mirabai are recited by the people of Gujarat and Rajasthan even today. Mirabai did not have a band of followers or group of her own, yet she was considered as a source of inspiration even after centuries. Besides Mirabai, the presence of women was visible in the Bhakti movement in different parts of India. Lal Dutt of Kashmir, Bahina Bai of Maharashtra, Akka Mahadevi of Karnataka, and Antal and Karakal Ammayar of Tamil Nadu were prominent among them. Okay, children, that's all for today. Here I am stopping. Thank you.